Hi guys, welcome to this channel. My name is Alejandra Dufo. I am a Catholic convert and I'm here to share my conversion story with you. So I was born in Lima, Peru, South America, and I was raised by cradle Catholics. My dad was raised by a very Catholic woman. My grandma was very Catholic. She used to go to mass every single day. On the other hand, I have my mom. She was raised by a very light Catholic. And so when my parents got together, they were not very religious. They were not religious at all. They were not involved in anything, like no church for them. Everything was okay. I was the only kid. And when I turned 2 years old, my brother was born. And unfortunately he passed away when he was almost 11 months old. It was very sad, as you can imagine. It was super tough for my parents, and they met these people from a church, evangelical church, and they started to talk to them about Jesus. And so they were amazed by them. They were really amazed because these people are so nice, so caring. They helped my parents so much. We're super grateful to them. And so my parents decided to be part of that church. So they started to go to church, and to this non-denominational Christian church. And it was fine. Everything was fine. And I grew up going to this church. And so, but at the same time, and Latinos can understand what I'm gonna say, but if we become Protestant, we're gonna always be involved in the Catholic Church. Let me tell you why. Everybody is Catholic. Like most people, even though they are not practicing Catholic, they get married in church. They have baptisms, just because of tradition. Not even like knowing too much about it, but just, because of tradition, they just do these things. And so you're very involved because, if somebody dies, you go to the Catholic Church. There's you go to masses, like, a lot, like at least once a year. And so I was familiar with the Catholic Church, kind of, but at the same time, I didn't know anything about the Catholic Church, but what my Protestant church used to tell us, So for me, Catholics were always wrong. Like, I used to look at them with pity. Like, I was like, oh gosh, poor things. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. They are very ignorant. And so for me, like, they were like, they're Catholic. And so I used to like chase after my friends who were Catholic, like to tell them, hey, you should come to my church. Like, like Catholics are so wrong. Like everything they do is wrong, pretty much, So it was kind of, that was my relationship with the Catholic Church. And however, the weird thing is that because I used to go to this school, and we did our first communion, and I was not baptized. I wasn't baptized, but my mom said, okay, her friends are gonna get first communion. She's gonna have it as well. I mean, she has to do it. What are we gonna do? And so I was part of it, even though we didn't believe in anything. Like we didn't believe in communion. Like we didn't even know about communion, like I would say. And so I did the first communion. I got baptized like a month before getting my first communion. However, like I said, we were not involved in the Catholic Church. I didn't know anything, pretty much, but I did the catechism for the first communion, and I learned the prayers and that type of thing. But I, continued to go to my Protestant church. And so, I was happy. I was a very happy person. We were like, happy with our church and everything. However, every time I used to go to a Catholic church, I used to feel something weird, even though I used to say bad things about Catholics, and I used to like chase after them and be like sometimes even sarcastic and mean to them, I used to feel something special because of the beauty of the temples and you know, the reverence there is, you know, people like, you know, doing the sign of the cross and showing respect. And so I used to look up to that, you know, because like at my church I was like, whatever, like it was just like a random place, so it was just okay, you know. And so the beauty, the everything, I was like kind of drawn to it in a way, but at the same time I was like, no, they are wrong. So it was like a mixed feeling that I had, you know. It was like a love and hate relationship. And so when I was about to be 19 years old, I started dating my now husband. He was a Catholic person and he used to be a catechist, so he knew not a lot, but he knew quite a bit. And all the accusations I had for the church, you know, he used to be like, I got this covered. Like he knew, you know, he knew how to give answers to me, like straight answers. And that was like, I didn't think of that this way, you know, maybe you're right. So I started to notice that there were things that I didn't know and I used to talk about without knowing. And I remember one day when we were in my parents' car and my mom was telling my husband that he should come with us to church, and he was like, I don't know about that, you know. He was like, I don't want to go, you know. But he ended up going because, you know, he was dating me, so he felt committed, so he ended up going. And he liked the church because it was okay. He respected me as a Christian, you know. Even though I was not a Catholic, he was okay with me believing in Christ, you know. At least, you know, I was a believer. And so it was okay, everything was fine. He was just like always giving me answers. And so he was the first person to like do something about it that helped me understand more the Catholic church. Like I was saying, I remember I was with my parents in their car, and he said, when my mom was saying, hey, you should come to church with us, he said that it was a Protestant church, and I didn't know anything about Protestant, so I didn't even know what that meant. That's very weird, and I'm very ashamed to say that because I feel so ignorant. I used to call them ignorant, and I didn't know what a Protestant was. I had no clue. So for me, it was like we were Christians and the Catholics were Catholics, and not even Christians. To me, they weren't even Christians. So I was a Christian one and they were Catholic. And so, you know, I don't know about Protestants. And he said, hey, so, I mean, I don't go to Protestant churches. And I was like, what are you talking about? What is a Protestant church? I didn't even know. And so my mom said, oh yeah, because history, you know, they started talking about history. And my husband said, yeah, Jesus was the one who founded the Catholic Church. And I was like, what? Wait, Mom, you knew this? And my mom was like, oh yeah. So this is what happened, you know, like it used to be one church, and then Martin Luther founded this church, you know, Lutheran church and stuff. And I was like, what? I didn't know this. Like, how can you go to a church that is newer? Like, if there was another church and it was founded by Jesus Christ himself, why are we going to this church? Like, I couldn't get it. I could not get it. And so I was in shock. And okay, so this is a little bit of my conversion story. And I have to go because I have to pick up my kids from the daycare. But I'll tell you more later. So there's gonna be part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.